Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
Okay, I'm going to call the duly noted July 18th agenda item, Common Council agenda item to order. I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll, please, and the council members to log into the electronic system.
Alderman Boyette. Here. Bates.
Here.
Billstrom.
Here.
Lendrum.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Lang.
Here.
Steele.
Here.
Boons.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here. With a quorum of council members, well, I guess we're all here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a couple of short presentations this evening. The first one is a presentation on the Neenah Fire Rescue Fishing Program to honor Assistant Chief Pegelow's son, who passed away last summer. I'm going to call on Neenah Alderman Steve Krieger, please, and Chief Cohn.
Thank you, Alderman Stevenson and members of the council. I'll try and make this as quick as possible, but as Alderman Stevenson said, I'm with Alderman Kruger from City of Menasha, and I've been working with Alderman Kruger for about a year now on a fishing program that we would like to launch here, hopefully by the weekend. And it is in regards to Assistant Chief Pegelow's son, who passed away tragically last summer. He was a huge fisherman, sports person, loved to be outside. And so Alderman Kruger came to me and had this idea, so we thought we would name the program For the Sake of Jake. And what it would be is we have Alderman Kruger has some friends in the fishing industry. They donated a bunch of fishing poles and bobbers and hooks and anything a child could use to go fishing. Alderman Krieger donated some money. The local union's benevolent fund paid for the rest of it. And what we'd like to have is children or kids ages through 18 in the cities of Neenah Menasha be able to stop at our Columbian Street Fire Station across the street or the First Street Fire Station in Menasha and be able to stop down anytime and grab a free fishing pole, some lures, whatever they need to take them out and go fishing. And we're also hoping that if there's anybody in the community that has some old fishing poles or gear that they would like to drop off, we can try and recondition it and fix it up and be able to just keep the program running that way. So I'd like to thank Alderman Kruger, but we wanted to bring it forward in front of the council, and I've talked to the mayor already just to let you know that those are the plans. Hopefully the program keeps running. I think it'll be a great opportunity for the firefighters to meet some of the kids in the community, probably give them some type of safety lesson while they're there. We've talked about maybe expanding it some way where we would host a fishing or some type of safety program at at the parks or something like that at some point. We'll see how that goes, but there's a lot of opportunity to teach some safety tips to some of the children in the community. Just another way for us to reach out. So anybody have any questions? Otherwise, that is it for me.
Carrie?
Of course I do. You said 18 or under, and on the flyer it says 16 and under.
It was a typo.
So is it really 18 or under? Okay.
Other questions? I'd have Mayor Crawford and the citizens of Neenah. I'd like to recognize the efforts, Steve, of you and the firefighters and our union I have a soft spot in my heart for the people that need Neenah Fire Rescue, and it never ceases to amaze me the level by which they continue to give back to this community. So, on behalf of the community, thank you.
Thank you. If anybody wants to. I have a flyer here, Alderman Stevenson, if anybody, should I pass them out or anybody care?
They all got one, but there are some more on that podium right now.
Perfect.
Did you get 'em?
I did. Yep, right here.
We all got them, and if anybody from the audience would like one, they'll be on the back table back here. Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Steve. Chief, over. Alderperson Bates?
Thank you. Since fishermen usually get up really early, can they go to the fire station anytime? And sounds perfect.
Ring the doorbell. Hey, let them. They're probably having coffee. So.
Thank you.
It's a new wrinkle in the program. Challenge the fire department.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. The second item, I want to thank the council for indulging me to be able to do this. I think, and I appreciate the audience indulging me. I think one of the real joys of public service is the ability to touch the lives of young people. And right or wrong, the young people of our community perceive the leadership that us public officials have as having some value to them. And I've had the good fortune over the years to be interviewed and talk to a number of young people, and for a number of reasons, helping them get scholarships, helping them get entrance into college, some of them wanting advice. In the case of my friend Joshua here, he wanted to just sit down and talk about the pros and cons of public service. So I've known his mom, Gretchen, for quite some time, and so Gretchen asked me if I'd be willing to do it, sit down and talk to Joshua a couple years ago as he was trying to determine what he wanted to do with his life. And I said, sure. But he said, Joshua has to contact me and ask me if he's truly interested in wanting to talk to me. And he called me the next day and he set up the appointment. So what turned out to be an hour lunch turned into about a 3.5-hour discussion of much more than public service. It talked about life experiences, my opinion on a potential career in the military, my perception of him going to school, and it was just a wonderful experience. So I've kind of followed Josh. Whenever he comes home, he contacts me, and we get together, and I find out what he's doing and where he's going. And Gretchen shared with me a while back that he had received this award, and I wanted to read this into the minutes tonight. And I want to recognize Josh's parents, Mark and Gretchen. Wave your hand so everybody can see him. So I want to read this. The Department of Air Force, this is to certify that the Air Force Achievement Medal has been awarded to Second Lieutenant Joshua R. Deagle for outstanding achievement, 21st July 2017 to 30 March 2018. Accomplishments. Second Lieutenant Joshua R. Deagle distinguished himself by outstanding achievement as a student support officer, 381st Training Support Squadron, 381st Training Group, Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. As an assistant flight commander, Lieutenant Deagle trained 7 personnel, incorporated an innovative checklist system which reduced administrative errors by 95% and overhauled the network access processing, resulting in a 50% reduction in the account creation time. Additionally, Lieutenant Deagle contributed to 54 student physical training sessions and aided administering 570 mock fitness assessments for space and missile trainees. Furthermore, Lieutenant Deagle exemplified the whole person concept as the 30th Space Wing Company Grade Officer Council Treasurer, an avid supporter of unit volunteer events, and logistical support officer for the 2017 Air Education and Training Command Senior Leadership Conference attended by 128 distinguished visitors. Finally, Lieutenant Deagle's performance and mentorship within the unit directly contributed to the training group's 2017 Air Education and Training Command Unit Effectiveness Inspection, quote, highly effective rating, end quote. The distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Deagle reflect credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. That was signed 29 May 2018 by Lieutenant Colonel U.S. Air Force Peter A. Aguirre. I wanted to read that into the minutes, and I wanted to publicly thank Joshua for his friendship and to thank him for his service and to thank his family for his service and to take this opportunity to thank all people who have chosen to serve our country and to their families for the support that their families give them. So thank you to you guys for raising a pretty swell kid. Thank you. Okay, I got through that. Moving on, thank you guys for coming. Moving on to Roman numeral 2, introduction and confirmation of the mayor's appointments. Mayor Crawford reappoints Steve Grease, Ron Klatt, and Monica Larrabee as second alternate to the Landmarks Commission for a 3-year term to expire 2021 July. I'll entertain a motion to confirm those appointments.
So moved.
Motion by Bates, seconded by Lendrum to approve those appointments. Discussion. All in favor of those appointments, please vote aye electronically. The mayor's appointments are unanimously approved, and I understand Ms. Larrabee is here. You could come forward and be administered the oath of office, please, by Clerk Stern. Okay. Go ahead. Monica, go ahead.
Here?
Go ahead, right there.
What am I supposed to do?
I know Patty just said you wanted to say something.
Well, I did, but I've just left my notes behind me.
Well, we're not that intimidated.
So if that's okay, yeah, I'm delighted to be here and to be part of the organization, and I will look forward to doing some work in the future.
Thank you. We look forward to having you continue that role.
You're just lucky I didn't bring my notes.
All right, you can stay right there. And if you'll raise your right hand, I, Monica Larrabee,
I'm Monica Larrabee,
having been appointed first alternate to the Landmarks Commission of the City of Neenah, Winnebago County, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully discharge the duties of a Landmarks Commissioner to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Again, Monica, thank you for your service, and for those viewing on TV, if you have an interest on serving on any of the many committees that the city has available for citizen contribution, please contact the clerk's office, because we're always looking for good quality people to help make this community a great place that it is. Second item under Roman numeral B is the reappointment of Mayor Crawford's appointment of Michelle Bauer, the Loan Assistance Board, for a 3-year term to expire June 2021. I'll entertain a motion to confirm.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Lenderman, seconded by Bates, to approve the mayor's appointment of Michelle Bauer to the Loan Assistance Board. Any discussion or comments on that? Seeing none, please cast your votes electronically. Motion passes unanimously. I don't think Michelle is here. All right, so that takes us down to Roman numeral 3, the approval of council proceedings for June 6th.
Move to approve.
Moved by Lendrum,
Second.
seconded by Bates, to approve the council proceedings from June 6, 2018. Any comments, questions, corrections? Seeing none, all in favor of approving those proceedings, vote aye electronically. those proceedings are approved. We have no public hearings this evening. We have no plan commission reports on those lack of public hearings. So it takes us on to Roman numeral 6, which is the public forum. It's an opportunity for speakers to speak on any topic that they wish to speak on. It doesn't have to be on the agenda. We ask that you try to limit your comments to 5 minutes. And we ask you to give your name and your residential address. So who, if anyone, would like to speak? Yes, please come.
Margaret Lorenz, 1228 Dogwood Trail. Once again, I speak for myself, for my husband Harvey, and for the group of neighbors living in Phase 1 of the Cottage of Woodside Green Plan Development District regarding the zoning issue that you will consider later this evening. In 1902, President Theodore Roosevelt first used the term bully pulpit in a speech suggesting that he could and would use the power of his position to influence opinion in political circles. That's kind of what we've been experiencing these past several weeks. No one is denying that the developer's plan for larger lots and larger houses breathed life into our stagnating neighborhood. Shouldn't that be the happy ending to our story? Instead, we see an attempt to leverage his success and prove that 2 + 2 = 5 just because 6 - 2 doesn't equal 5. The bottom line is that the council approved 25 lots and he sold 25 lots. The fact that he sold 2 of those lots to existing property owners shouldn't mean that he's allowed a total of 25 houses. Isn't the operative phrase in the rezoning request not approved houses, but additional saleable lots? Your council predecessors worked hard to hone a natural prairie into plans for a viable environmental neighborhood within the larger city of Neenah. Please, let's stop changing the rules and adjusting feature after feature of the unique development. At an early meeting, Mr. Schmitz said the city was trying to work with the developer. Our question is, when will the developer try to work with the residents? At the last council meeting, the developer said he was dismayed by the negative reaction of the neighbors. Possibly he would have been less surprised had he contacted us directly and tried to have a conversation before we were notified by city communication that his plan was on your agenda. When he first took over the properties in the summer of 2015, we asked for a meeting of property owners. 3 years have passed. No neighborhood meeting has ever been called. In terms of the conversation about wetlands, the mayor ascertained that the DNR does not technically designate any of the development as wetlands. What it does say on the certified survey map drafted by McMahon Engineers for the developer on July 13, 2015, when he bought the property, is wet meadow basin on Outlot 2. That, I believe, was the exhibit before the council when you approved the revisions of the planned development, which still included the natural drainage features in place of storm sewers. With bigger houses and larger, no longer impermeable driveways, we need that natural rain garden more than ever. Originally, I planned for longer comments containing many examples of the developer's use of a bully pulpit, but frankly, I'm afraid of retaliation. When someone is willing to denigrate a young woman to tears in a public setting, as you saw happen at your last council meeting, I am personally afraid of what might come for me because of my speaking so freely at all of your meetings. So just one more point before I finish. We've recently learned of an issue regarding clogged sanitary sewers in both Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Woodside Green development, as well as in the nearby town of Neenah neighborhood. This has been confirmed by staff at City Hall. Apparently, either the sewage pipes themselves and/or the pump to move the sewage is not large enough to handle the increased volume from all the new houses, and several residents have experienced sewage backup in their basements. Adding another house and its sewage volume at the farthest end point of the system will only increase those problems for all of us, such that we can probably expect to see that item on future council agendas. We are grateful for the time that the council has spent studying this issue and taking the original bold step of approving a green development. And we especially appreciate that the Plan Commission really tried to do their homework before their vote, which you will hear opposes recommending the zoning revision. Please continue to honor your original commitment to this new type of development and to the neighbors and animals who live here by agreeing with the commission and denying the request for zoning. And thank you for listening to me tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak to the council under the public forum? Anyone else? Third time. Okay, then I will close the public forum and ask if there is anyone who speaks specifically to the comments of the public forum. Alderperson Bates.
Thank you, President Stevenson. I guess the clog issue was something, is that pump that we have going on over there that we had some trouble for?
Well, we have a metering manhole at the south end of the Platte. I have not personally heard of any clogged sewer reports, but I'm sending a note to one of our engineers to follow up and let me know.
I believe Chris knew about that. Somebody knew about that at the last meeting. Mr. Coonan stopped me. I think his was the basement that got most of the stuff. I asked somebody that night, so somebody within the city was aware. I can't tell you who. Yeah, I don't know. If I knew what I'd tell you. I just don't remember who it was.
Keith was here then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, Alderperson Lendrum.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. I was there for a short time at the Plan Commission. I had to leave for another meeting, and I actually spoke then too. This has happened to me too twice, where a developer has come in, and I was assured that the land near me was never going to be developed. But what I didn't do is buy the land I was worried about. And looking back at it now, that is one big regret. So that's why in Plan Commission, I did ask the developer if a resident or anyone could buy the lots in question. He said yes. So I didn't buy the lots. I regretted it, and they built near me. So they are open to purchase. So that's all I wanted to say.
Great. Anyone else? Okay, then I'll close the council response and move on to Roman numeral 8, the consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Or would someone like something removed?
Move to approve consent agenda.
Motion by Lendrum, seconded by Coons, to approve the 5-item consent agenda. Any comments, questions, or additions or deletions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of approving all 5 of those items, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. The consent agenda is approved unanimously. Brings us down to Roman numeral 9, the reports of standing committees, the Special Public Services and Safety Committee. Chairperson Bates.
Thank you, President Stevenson. Concerning the Special Public Service and Safety Committee meeting tonight, July 18th, the committee recommends awarding the ADA facilities audit to MSA Consulting in Madison, Wisconsin for the contract amount of $31,177 coming from the DOLAS budget, and I would so move.
Second.
We have a motion by Bates and seconded by Hillstrom to approve the contract with MSA Consulting for our ADA facilities audit. Those funds coming from the DOLAS budget levy dollars. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I will, just for our audience at home, you'll see a number of purchases this evening that there may not be a lot of discussion here at the council, but these items are discussed in one of 2 standing committees and are vetted pretty seriously by this council. So we've seen this before. So no other comments or discussion? All in favor of that motion will vote aye. Any opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously.
I will move on to the July 10th regular Public Service and Safety Committee meeting. Minutes can be found on the city website. Committee recommends council accept the low bid of Rarig Pacific Company for the purchase of refuse and recycling carts in the amount of $1,037,640, with the overage of $57,640 to be covered by the funds available from the collection truck purchase. And I would so move. Oops.
The motion by Bates, seconded by Hillstrom to approve purchasing automated collection, refuse, and recycling carts, which will be coming soon to the city. Any discussion on that motion? I'm sorry, Alderperson Coons.
Thank you, Council President. Dr. Kaiser, just a couple questions. First of all, looking at the notes and minutes, looks like this involves 3 different sizes, correct?
3 sizes, yep.
And the quantities could change.
That's correct.
And I am assuming a 30-gallon is less than a 95-gallon.
The 35-gallon is about $10 less than a 95.
And so, because the council still has some issues about still remaining size and different things, this gives us total flexibility in that regard. Okay, thank you.
Alderperson Steele.
Yes, I've expressed some concerns about this before, but I'll say this again. I understand that the cans are to be designated for particular households, but I also can't see that there's a way to ensure that they stay with the households. It is my understanding that these cans are designed to last for a long time. I was talking to someone from Appleton who's had her for 24 years now, still in good shape. Appleton. Yes. I think this is a nominal expense. If you look at the overall budget for a city just for garbage cans. And as far as I can tell, it's going to be a continued expense because people will move. They will take their people will move into the area and not have cans. And this is borrowed money. So we're not only going to be paying for the cans, but we're going to be paying for interest on it. I don't think this makes sense.
Thank you. Alderperson Boyette.
Thank you. I just have a question, I guess, or maybe just even a statement. I know when we discussed doing this with a contract and having it done that way, that motion failed and we ended up where we are now, which is buying the equipment and doing it ourselves. But I've caught wind of something and I'm just trying to understand it. Originally, it was my understanding that the city was going to pay for the first cans for the citizens. And now I've heard that we're potentially directing staff to check into something called maintenance fees for these cans. And I'm not quite sure why we would need maintenance fees on garbage cans. So I don't know if I heard correctly or if I can just get some clarification on that. Or
I can either defer to Chairman Bates or to Director Kaiser.
Go ahead.
Whoever can best answer.
I'll start. That's where I was buzzing in. At the committee meeting, discussing this with the staff, the first year or the first iteration, it would be purchased by the city, getting everybody involved with the changeover and getting it to kind of making it easy for everyone. It's going to be purchased by the city. It'll be there. After that, there will be a $5 per year per cart fee. Now, they say we call this a replacement or a fund that in 12 years when the carts could go bad, we would have enough money to replace the cart. Now, if in the interim you have either run over your cart, you've lost it, and it hasn't been stolen or reported to the police that way, and they will have serial numbers, it will be your responsibility. So if you move and a new person buys your house and there's no can there, I'm sorry, the next person that moves in has to buy their own can. Cans, I believe, are somewhere around $60, $50, $60.
The 95s are about 46.
So it's the initial fee we're taking care of, and then we're going to start building up a fund to be able to purchase them. Is there anything you want to add?
No, you did fine.
I would just add in response to Alderperson Steele's comments, the units will be labeled the City of Neenah on it. So if I move to Green Bay and I put out a City of Neenah and they will also be chipped, correct?
That's correct. That's what Superintendent Freese mentioned.
Right. So these I mean, if we really want to become recycling police, we could run around with a scanner and find out whose that really is. I think we'll kind of have an idea if we see it. Somebody says the City of Neenah on the side of it. Alderperson Erickson first, and then Alderperson Kuntz and Alderperson Steele.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. I have a quick question for Director Kaiser. Alderman Bates had mentioned it's a $5 fee per unit. So you would be paying $10 per year because you would have two of them, one for recycling and one for garbage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you.
Alderperson Kuntz.
Thank you. I just want to make it clear, there is no replacement fee. There is no discussion of who's purchasing. I mean, there's a discussion, but there's been no decision made on any of these things. Correct. I mean, this is not coming before the council. We'll get to decide these things, and they'll be discussed then. So this is just about whether we go with the lowest bid to buy carts. And we're getting way ahead, and there's got to be weighing in on a lot of different matters, whether a replacement fee or who's paying for it. All that stuff still has to be decided. It hasn't even come out of committee yet. So I just wanted to throw the red flag on that one.
Hey, thank you, Alderperson Steele.
Yeah, I just want to point out that it's kind of ridiculous to think that the city is going to put resources into tracking down these cans that go missing. I mean, cans could go anywhere in the country or beyond international borders even, and it's highly unlikely that we're going to go try and fetch them home.
My comment was more of as a deterrent for people trying to, thinking they could take them. I didn't. Although in retirement, I could do that. Oh, okay. We have a motion and a second to expend the $1.37640 million, whatever. Alderperson Lender.
Thank you, Councilperson Stevenson. I just wanted to go over the cost of this program. The carts, obviously, on the agenda, $1,037,640, but of course, we need the 5 new trucks that go with it. And some of our trucks are, I think one of them is only 4 years old. So we will have to somehow get, I guess, pennies on the dollar on those. I just want everyone to be aware that this is a huge expense. So between the trucks and the cans, $2.3 million. And these trucks, they only last 8 years. So I've been concerned from the very beginning. This is an incredible amount of money, $2.3 million. And the other worry that I can't quite process yet is that I'm hearing rumblings from China not accepting recyclables. So I'm not sure how that's going to work into the mix either. I see that some of the markets are weakening for recycling. So that's another wrench. So what I'm hoping, I'll put a positive spin on it, that for $2.3 million, that we are going to get a lot of new applicants, of which we are short applicants for sanitation workers, because apparently we are one of very few that still has it done manually. We have had some claims, medical claims in the past. It's really wasn't significant in my book. But I have heard that we are losing out to other communities because we don't have this automated trash pickup. So what I'm hoping for your $2.3 million is that we are going to get hordes of wonderful applicants coming in for sanitation workers as part of the benefit to this. So thank you.
Thank you. Alderperson Bates.
Another positive that we have in the city of Neenah is I just came back from my daughter's house, and everybody seems to have these automated trucks now, and we were trying to we were redoing your house, so you're stuffing ceiling tiles, and you have too much recyclables, and you couldn't get it. One of the benefits of living in the city of Neenah is we have the opportunity to drop off extra stuff at the city garage. A lot of communities do not have that. What we want to make sure people understand is when they will get a survey out to people, and when you apply for what size cans you want, make a very serious choice about this, because I work with the Committee on Aging here, and they're all saying they need smaller cans because they don't have a lot of garbage. Very true. But if you're a medium-sized family or a larger family, you might want to think about, sometimes you have just a little bit of garbage, sometimes you have a lot. You cannot put bags next to it anymore, so be conscientious about that. So we will be getting information out to people before you're actually making the choice, or when you're making the choice. So our staff recommended we go to the largest size and make everybody get it. So I recognize, I believe it was Rick Freese, wanted to say he recommends the biggest size. And the council members have heard what the other people saying. I can't fit it in my garage. I don't want to have big things hanging around. Allow me the smaller size. So that was the direction that we were going into. And as I see some in the audience, some older people have difficulty even pushing the larger carts, empty or full. So we are listening, and we're trying to make this as smooth as possible.
Alderperson Lindrum.
Thank you. I just want to add one more thing to Marge's statement. Is recycling will be picked up every other week. So the 32, the smallest of the three options is the 35. You probably have the 32 at home. A standard garbage can is 32. So that's how you can make that comparison. You're just your average one. So you already have the smallest. And do you use several of those for your trash? Then you'd want to move up to the 65 or the 95. But the trick is for recycling is, since it'll be picked up every other week, it will be, you need twice as much capacity as you have now. So if you're filling up to the absolute brim every week, you're going to have to jump up to the 65 or 95.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion to expend the dollars for garbage cans and recycling carts? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. That motion passes with one nay vote.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of July 9th, Chairperson Erickson.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. Reporting out from the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of July 9th, 2018. Number one, the committee recommends Council adopt Resolution 2018-20, Community Development Block Grant and authorization to enter into agreements for the activities, subject to the approval of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and I so move.
I have a motion by Erickson, seconded by Kuntz, to approve Resolution 2018-20. Discussion on that motion. Alderperson Boyette.
I was not there at this time for the meeting, so I'll be voting no on this.
What? You'd be voting no because you weren't there? You could abstain. I think I'm not gonna tell you how to vote, but I'm vote to abstain. Yeah. Yeah. Alderperson Lindrum.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to ask Director Hayes, in the future when we do this, are we able to invite some of these nonprofits to come? They have come in the past, and it was really nice to hear how they spend these funds directly in our community. So do you always give them an invitation every year to come and speak in front of us? And if you don't, could you for the next time?
We do, and if you recall, there was a public hearing probably 2 meetings ago in which that's typically when they would come and speak. And if, quite frankly, it was the direction of the council, we used to do the public hearing and take action in the same evening. We were directed and concurred with having the public hearing and then an opportunity to take that testimony, if you will, into consideration and giving some time before we actually adopt it. So to answer your question, yes.
The reason I would like them to come to the council meeting is then they could be on camera and the rest of the community could listen to them too.
They can come to the public hearing, which happens in front of the council, and that's typically when they do come and speak.
Okay.
It's at that time.
Thank you.
That might be why they don't come. Alderperson Erickson.
I was just going to ask Director Hayes to give us a brief outline of how this program works.
Each year, the city is Neenah is what's called an entitlement community, so automatic award from the Housing and Urban Development. This year, it's roughly $200,000. It's been fairly consistent in the past few years. There are a fair amount of strings attached to those dollars, and they dictate how we can spend those funds. A main part of the program is funding community service agencies. I think we serve 7 different agencies that help in various ways, from domestic abuse to housing to nutrition. And if I read the list of names, you would probably recognize most of them. Unfortunately, that the amount of dollars that we can contribute to those local agencies is capped at 15% of the grant. So it ultimately is just, in this year, it's just under $40,000. So it's not a significant amount of dollars. We have other areas that we utilize the funds, neighborhood improvements. We've done blight elimination. Last year, we acquired the Harns property and removed that structure. We used these dollars to remove the former Shilbritz property, or structure, I should say. Then there is also a portion of these funds that are used to administer the program. Probably the two biggest, maybe the biggest program we offer is the Housing Rehabilitation Loan Program. Qualified property owners are able to apply for a loan through the city to do improvements, in some cases, depending on the individual applicant's their conditions, that those can often be offered in the form of a grant. I can't tell you how many of those loans or grants we've done in the 25 or 30 years of the program, but it's well into the hundreds, most of which, believe it or not, get repaid. So that is a significant benefit of the program. We also have a small business loan program that is, in essence, provides dollars gap financing for businesses, small businesses that are in need of capital to grow their business. I think that summarizes it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2018-20, approving the Community Development Block Grant Program. Any other comments or discussion regarding that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion, vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Thank you. I'm
sorry. That motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 2, the committee recommends council adopt resolution number 2018-21, designating Nicolay National Bank as a public depository and authorizing withdrawal of county, city, village, town, or school district monies. And I so move.
Second.
Alderperson, let's just Alderperson Erickson.
There
you go. Now it's a battle for second.
Second.
Here we go. Motion by Erickson, seconded by Steele. And I've never seen so many lights. Okay, we finally have a motion and a second for Resolution 2018-21, designate Nicolay Bank as a public depository. Yes, Alderperson Erickson.
I would just like to ask Director
Easker.
I'm sorry.
The new guy.
Director Easker, just to give us a brief synopsis of this.
Thank you, Chairman Erickson. Again, this is quite routine in the fact that Wisconsin Statute number 34 requires that when city funds are deposited in a bank or a financial institution, that before the city can do that, it needs to designate that bank as a public depository per statute. This is a little different one in that Nicolay Bank is the bank that purchased First National Fox Valley, First National Bank Fox Valley. So technically, from our perspective, it wasn't necessary to pass a public depository resolution for Nicolay Bank, since we already had one on file and it passed one for First National, and that conveys to the new bank. But they felt more comfortable if we did that, so that's what we are doing to recognize Nicolay Bank as a public depository for the city.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. Any other discussion on the motion to approve Resolution 2018-21? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. Resolution 2018-21 is passed. And that concludes your report, Alderperson Erickson?
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Roman numeral 10, reports of special committees, liaisons, various special project committees, and consideration thereof. Roman numeral 10A is the regular plan commission meeting of July 10th, which will be reported out by our council rep, Alderperson Lang.
Thank you, President Stevenson. Plan Commission meeting of July 10th, 2018. Minutes can be found on the city's website. One item, the motion to recommend the master plan amendment, cottages at Woodside Green Plan Development District, Ordinance 2018-09, with the condition that any land division of Outlot 2 into a separate buildable lot or lots must be reviewed by Plan Commission, and all land division standards as noted in Chapter 25 of the Municipal Code must be met, failed by a 3-4 vote. Because that motion failed in the Plan Commission, there is no motion to make at this time.
Plan Commission report regarding the Master Plan Ordinance 2018-09 does not have a recommendation coming from Plan Commission. It would be, again, could be appropriate if a council member wanted to take up Ordinance 2018-09, they could take that up at this time. Anyone interested in taking action on Ordinance 2018-09? I'll move on then to Roman numeral 10B, but before I do that, in essence, for the people here, the requested action on Ordinance 2018 will not be considered tonight, and I think it's over. Roman numeral 10B, Board of Public Works, meeting of July 10th. Vice Chairman Hillstrom.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. Minutes of this meeting can be found on the city website. There's one informational item first. The board approved pay request number 8 for contract PR 01-17, the Fox River Loop the Lake project, in the amount of $172,159.33 to Pfeiffer Brothers Construction, Neenah. Next is one council action item. The board recommends council award contract 5-18, concrete pavement and sidewalk repair to Fisher Ullman Construction in the amount of $267,550, and I would so move.
Second.
Motion by Hillstrom, seconded by Lindrum, to award contract 5-18 for concrete pavement and sidewalk repair to Fisher Ullman in the amount of $267,550. Discussion, Alderperson Kuntz.
Thank you, Council President. I'll take this opportunity to air a couple issues I have with this. And there's a couple of them. First, one is of a budgetary nature, and that is the fact that we budget, by year, so we keep this number basically the same every year, even though what we get every year changes because costs go up. And what we don't, what wasn't visible, at least to me anyways, is what we're getting. I mean, I see the list there, but I'm not saying we need to have it this time to pass it, but what I'm looking for, at least I'm looking for, is some way to measure what we've what we've been getting and what we are getting. I know we had one resident calling about issues of sidewalks on Maple, and I see it through the city. And I believe original goal was to go around the city once every 5 years. I think we're up to once every 25 years or somewhere in that nature. A dramatic change. Things change, and that's okay. But it'd be nice to see a running total of what I don't know how many lineal feet, what we got and how it's changed. So we're budgeting by results and not by a number. And that result is either every 25 years, meaning by the way, every time we replace this, I don't know what it means. And that means that some places, we don't get to for 25 years. And I don't know how long. I assume these sidewalks are meant to last probably closer to 50 years. You'd think that would cover us, but I know it doesn't. Which gets to the other item, and that is, I estimated we have probably over 250,000 of these little sections of sidewalk, bigger than roughly a yard, and I can calculate how many yards and how many miles of sidewalk, and I have this over of 250,000. So trying to track that and understand that, first of all, somebody digs it. Maybe someone comes by and looks and makes sure it's supposed to be 4 inches of sub whatever, but it'd be tough, a tough process. And so the question is, are we replacing the same ones over and over again, or are they putting it in right and it's lasting right, and then the ones around the roots we've dealt with, so we're not replacing those same pieces? I see the same problem pieces over and over again. I have some pieces in front of my house that look like they've been there for, since the city was created. I mean, they're just old. And other ones replace all the time. So trying to get at a quality standpoint of what we're doing with this. And so, and I've talked with Brad, maybe that's a JS kind of thing, or we have these ways of keeping track of our assets and which pieces we're replacing, and is it truly working? Because at some point, if we can manage this better, and a sidewalk's meant to last 50 years, and we deal with the root ones around trees and all those kind of things appropriately, maybe we can even reduce this number or do something, but again, managed by results and what we're trying to achieve. And that's I hate to be long-winded here. It was just an opportunity to take this time to address this one. I know that in part of this, there's many other items of this thing, but we have these kind of replacement pieces, and we look at them and we pass them, and I'm not sure, at least from my perspective, that I'm truly giving proper oversight to what's happening there. So that's my concerns. I threw this at you right now. I'm not looking at trying to not pass this because that wouldn't be fair. But it's something I would look at, and I'm just one person as we move in the future. Thank you.
Any other discussion on that motion? I guess in response to a quantifiable perspective, we're spending $167,550, and it looks like we're getting about 17,500 square feet concrete sidewalk, and then concrete sidewalk driveway. $15 cents a foot. So we could do that. I'm sure it's relatively easy to do that. So we could get that information if we think that's a valuable tool of measurement to determine. I think it's a great idea. Nothing else, we find out what our annual square. Any other discussion or comments regarding contract 5-18? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Contract 5-18 is approved. Brings us down to the Landmarks Commission. Alderperson Lang.
Thank you, President Stevenson. The Landmarks Commission met last on June 12th. Just a couple of things to report. If you haven't had a chance yet to see the traffic control box wrap on the corner of West Wisconsin Avenue and South Commercial Street in front of Associated Bank, please check that out. It was sponsored by the Landmarks Commission, and the art on it was created by students at Neenah High School. So please check that out. The second box wrap will be dedicated tomorrow night on the corner of South Commercial and Cecil Street. So please join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for the dedication of that box, which has a different theme. It's a police department theme. The first box was city landmarks and people in Neenah's history. Also, just one other item, the Voyager canoe tours that were provided by Landmarks Commission a couple of years ago in conjunction with the powwow in Neenah, which will be held this year on September 22nd, are moving forward. We had some concern at a point that we would be having to have 2 smaller canoes, but as of today, we are back to having the large 28-foot-long Voyager canoe. So it was very popular 2 years ago, so please put that on your calendar for September 22nd. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Anything from Sustainable Neenah? Alderperson Kuntz.
Thank you, Council President. The Sustainability Committee met on June 25th. One item in particular, we at least handed out to everyone the refuge ordinance with the idea of trying to take a look at that with a sustainability lens. So we'll see what we come up with from that investigation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Berkshire Mahler Museum, Alderperson Erickson.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. The Berkshire Mahler Museum had their annual art festival last Sunday. It was a very popular and successful event. There were a lot of people that volunteered and a lot of people that attended. And I'm pleased to say that I think they did very well financially with that. So if you're interested in finding out about camps, classes, and any other exhibits at the Berkshire Mahler Museum, I would recommend that you visit the Berkshire Mahler Museum website for that information. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Anything from the CDA, Director Hayes?
CDA is scheduled to meet on July 30th. We have a number of items. The agenda is a moving target right now. It'll firm up depending on how things happen here in the next week or two.
Okay, it looks like I skipped a couple here. The Berkshire Mahler, I guess, right?
Bid board.
Bid.
The bid board. Did we do Berkshire Mahler?
Yeah.
Yes.
Classes,
That's me.
successful.
I'm sorry. Just the bid. Let's go back to E1. The bid board report, Alderperson Lang. I apologize.
That's okay. Thank you, President Stevenson. The bid board met last on June 19th. Just a couple of items to report. Alex Nowakowski was elected or nominated and approved to be vice president of the bid board. A June 12th walking tour took place, touring through the district and identifying issues and potential problems. So that was a good walkthrough. The cut and run event took place on June 23rd. There were hundreds and hundreds of people there, so a great event as we initiated the loop, the Little Lake Trail, and all the great things that go with that. So a lot of summer activities going on in the bid, concert series, and all of that going on this time as well. So just a lot to report throughout the bid, and happy that we're having a good summer. So that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Library board, Alderperson Erickson.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. The Library Board met today at 4 o'clock, and there are a couple of things that I'd like to highlight. The SOAR Summer Reading Program for Youth currently has, as of this afternoon, 2,222 people that have signed up, and that has it has exceeded the numbers from last year. Number two, last Friday night there was a program at the Neenah Library. Michael Seibel was there to present the movie The Wraith, and over 100 people attended. They enjoyed popcorn and pizza, and it was a very successful event. And then also this past summer, during the summer school time, and it will be the last time that they will have it will be tomorrow because summer school ends tomorrow, is the Neenah Library was a host site for free lunches, and it's a program sponsored by the USDA. It's a grant, and they served over 1,000 lunches from June 11th through June 19th, averaging 87 lunches a day. So it was a very successful program, and I'd like to thank Alderman Lindrum for participating in that, and our police department and fire department also participated in handing out the lunches. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to Neenah Arts Council, Alderperson Erickson.
Thank you, Council President Stevenson. The Neenah Arts Council met on Wednesday, July 11th, and there are a couple things that I'd like to highlight. The first is tomorrow night is Bazaar After Dark. It is a summer night market, and it will be held on South Commercial Street between Wright and Alcott. And I encourage everybody to attend. It's from 5 to 10. And the weather looks like it will be promising, probably around 79 degrees. So there are a lot of vendors, food trucks, music. You can also attend the unveiling of the box that Jane just spoke about. And then another thing that's on our agenda, we are in the process of planning Neenah Paints the Town. And this event is a community plein air painting event. And we are tentatively scheduling it for September 21st from 5 to 7. And what this is where the community can come and paint on site. So we're looking at 3 venues throughout the city. And we hope to have artists available at each venue to help lead the painting at each venue. And it's going to be our first go at a plein air event in Neenah. Also, we talked about snapshots in time. Michael Hopkins is an area writer, and he's leading this project to work with people with memory loss and to capture memories that they have in writing. So that is another effort that we are working on. And that concludes my report.
Any other time in that committee for any other thing else? Because you're so busy. Congratulations. What? I was just teasing. That committee's pretty busy.
That committee, it's a great committee, and there's so many wonderful art things going on in our communities. So.
Yeah, I shouldn't tease you. I should congratulate you. Well done. We have moving on to Roman numeral 11, we have Alderperson Bates.
Thank you, President Stevenson. I just wanted to warn the audience that if you're watching this anytime but tonight and you're not here in the audience, when they say tomorrow, it is July 19th, Thursday.
Thank you for the clarification.
Might be out there alone.
Okay. Having no petitions, anyone want to do anything with council directives? Alderperson Bates. Okay. Any council directive action? Seeing none. Unfinished business? Seeing none. Under new business, the clerk has provided us information about the League of Wisconsin Municipalities 120th Annual Conference in Wisconsin Dells, October 21st to the 26th. So if you're interested in going in that, those are always good networking opportunities and a good opportunity to find out what other communities are doing to deal with some of the issues that we're all facing. So I encourage you to go. And if you're interested in going, Patty Stern.
Yep. And the sooner you can get a hold of me, the better. It's a very popular conference. A lot of people want to go, and the rooms are pretty well booked already. I have 5 rooms reserved, so hopefully we have enough. If we have extras, I would like to turn them back in so other people can use those rooms. So let me know as soon as you can if you're planning on attending.
Any other announcements or questions that may legally come before the council? And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Landrum, seconded by Coons. All in favor of that motion indicate with an aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Come on.
Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin, Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.